Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's November 5th of 2023, and it's about almost 9 p.m. Those of you who have been watching my site or whatever, you've seen and heard a little bit about the Raccoon Whisperer on here. And there's been a few messages or whatever left in the message thing underneath here. And I'm not sure what the first video, I think, where I mentioned, well, I think probably I'm guessing, since I make maybe sometimes, one a day, 2, 3 a day, YouTube post. So probably I mentioned someplace very briefly, that there was a guy who had feeds a bunch of raccoons or whatever, and I put a link to his site. I'm guessing, because that's normally what I would do in a case like that. I would just put a link to it. If I mention something, then I try to put a link where somebody can go and find that site. So I'm guessing that that's what I did. And then that might have been quite a while ago too, because I don't know exactly when, but I think my ex-wife mentioned, hey, there's a guy who has, raccoons, and it's really neat, on YouTube. So I went there, checked it out, and I started watching, his YouTube channel. And I don't know how long, but after a while I got sort of tired of watching it, the same thing, over and over again or whatever. So I wasn't going there, except I think occasionally I would pop over there just to see, because some things popped up, like he met a woman and got married and that kind of stuff. So I checked over. I didn't make any comments or stuff about something like that, but I was just going to see what was going on. And then his health problem popped up, and at that point, if that hadn't have happened, I would have by that time stopped watching him. He's got a nice, if you're, into raccoons or animals or whatever you're into, that's a good site to go. And so I mentioned his site in one of my videos. I don't know which one, but I mentioned it in that he had some medical problems, and I didn't copy any of his material. I never copied any of his material. I just gave a link to his site a few times, and I don't think very many times. Now, there for a while, when he became sick, there were people who weren't getting information about his health. I did not give any information about his health, but I mentioned, I think on a couple of videos, that information had been posted on, his site, and put a link to that site. So, what is the next? Well, then I think the next thing is, I started occasionally, I've been doing this since 1982. I was streaming before there was a YouTube. I was streaming before, in fact, I don't know anybody that was streaming before me. I'm sure there was somebody, but I don't know anybody that was streaming before me. So I didn't put anything about his health. I put a link to their site, saying that you can get the current information, because in the beginning they weren't, and I'm not sure they're doing a good job now of it. Maybe they are now, but they weren't doing a really good job of, I thought of, he's got over 6,000 subscribers. No, yeah, 6,000. I don't even know what 622. I guess it's 622,000 subscribers. Something, I don't know what it is. A lot. He's got a lot of subscribers. So I just put a link a couple times to his site, and so that people who were fans could go there. Anyway, I started getting some. Like I said, I've been doing this since 1982, and I've had a fantastic record of really nice people, and not getting attacked. It's not having people come after me or whatever, which I don't care about. But I was surprised that some of his fans were coming and saying, "How dare you copy, his site?" And I didn't copy his site. I did what YouTubers should do, and that is put a link to something that's, if somebody has some information or whatever, or if you like a person's site, yeah, go ahead and a link to their site. But I don't copy anybody's. I'm getting ready to here in a few minutes. I'm getting ready to put in here about 6 minutes or so from the Raccoon Whisperer, because he's misinformed, and his wife is misinformed. I have not attacked Jim, or I have not copied any of his information, although I'm getting ready to do it here in a minute. I've not copied any of his information or whatever. I just put a few links to his site. So, now tonight I had somebody leave a comment on my thing saying that the Raccoon Whisperer, what did the person say in the comment? That he was attacking me. That he was attacking me, or said that I was doing such and such, which is ridiculous. I didn't. And so I then went to his site, which I will put a link to below, by the way, and read all the comment. And luckily, I guess I got here early, or else I'd have had to go through a whole bunch of his fans, commenting. But I went through the entire list that was posted as of then, and nobody mentioned me. And then I thought, you don't think that he mentioned me in his video, do you? So then I went and started watching it. And when I got up to about 6 minutes into his video, yeah, he started talking. They started talking about me. They're misinformed. And I think the reason for that is that they're going by what some people are leaving, I guess, a comment in their comment section saying that Jim Howard or this YouTuber did this or did that or whatever, and that's not correct. Remember, I was a fan. I subscribed. I think I'm subscribed now. I guess I'll unsubscribe. But I subscribed and I watched. Hi, Dee Dee. Dee Dee, our cat. We don't have raccoons, but we have cats. Well, we have one cat. So it's kind of funny too, in their comment that they make, there's a little thing that they make which probably doesn't resonate with anybody else, except probably resonates with somebody if they happen to watch my site, that something about that he, meaning me, was eating on screen when when I was making a video or whatever. And I have done that a few times. I mean, not sat and eat an entire meal or whatever, but I think I remember just a short time back, I was really hungry, and I had something here, and I had a couple bites of it or something, and I apologized to everybody, which, I mean, so they mentioned that. But anyway, I'm not the bad person they're making me out to be, and I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't matter. But I guess I'll go ahead and play. Let's see, I want to turn off my microphone and go down.
He likes getting that in the water. They love those chicken dogs. Come here. I get you Bob. Yeah. Oh, what's his name? Jim Howard, is it? He got the dates all wrong when I went to the hospital. He said I went to the hospital in May.
Well, it's if anybody's watching that channel because of his titles.
He doesn't have that many subscribers, but
No.
he's getting chewed out by my members. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But
he is on YouTube, and I don't know the reason why he does this, so I'm not going to make any accusations. But his title says the latest, something similar. I'm not going to say it's exactly these words. It says the latest health updates on the Raccoon Whisperer.
Yeah.
We don't know him.
He doesn't know anything about us.
He knows nothing about us.
No. But he slurps his soup.
He's giving out inaccurate information of dates and
if you notice, Jim, we don't eat on here in front of people.
Right. And
which is not a very good habit to do.
And I give you the accurate health updates.
Yeah.
So if you want the accurate health updates, when I get the opportunity to give them, I'll give them to you. Anything other than us giving them to you is false.
And he's from Texas.
And
Isn't that where you said he's from? Texas?
Oh, I don't know where he said he was from. I just turned it off because it was just completely inaccurate. I don't know where he got the information from, but his source or wherever he's getting it from is...
I don't know what his interest is in my health, between me and the doctors, and we just update our fans, which we have a lot of, and they're concerned about me.
So.
But I'm getting the help I need, and,
Hello. What you doing?
Nothing's going to the wayside. So. You get it?
They love their daddy.
Yeah.
Still got a bunch down there. There we go, guys. Here's more.
One right there, Law.
There's more.
You missed out on that one, didn't you? Here.
There's more.
But he made a comment about how the fans were jumping on him. Well,
Thank you for defending Jim, and because you all know the facts. So we'd like to say thank you to you all.
And to the guy that wanted to get donations in my name, we don't accept money from anybody, and anybody that knows me knows that. We don't accept any money or gifts.
Nope.
We don't have to, so. One fella had a page there on how much money I made. I wrote.
That was inaccurate.
I wrote back to him. I said, "Would you please be my accountant?"
Yeah. And then there,
Because if I'm making that kind of money, I want you on my side.
right. And then
Way off the deep end.
Susan, one of our friends in Oregon, she was on the other night, and she was saying, she had Googled the Raccoon Whisperer, and there's a thing there that says the Raccoon Whisperer, and it has Jim's picture, but then it says his songs and listening and a bunch of stuff on Apple Music, and that's not Jim for anybody, so don't buy into that. Someone again trying to make money off of Jim, and then I let Google know that the songs and the listening and the Apple Music were not Jim.
No.
At all. So
And I do have videos where I sing and play, but
it's not on
You
Apple
don't-
Music.
no, we don't make money off it either. No,
No.
don't get nothing. So,
So
what? Here. You got it? Oh, you
Okay, I'm back. I don't have too much. Don't have too much really to say. They're mistaken. They're relying on, I think, something that some of their supporters or whatever have told them. They haven't spent their. They're busy. You know, they got a lot, and plus with his health problems and things, you know, they got a lot going on in their life. I'm not the villain or the bad person that they're making me out to be. So I guess it wasn't something I was eating because they mentioned slurping soup. I think I probably did that a couple times. Just not an entire bowl of soup or whatever. I think I took a couple spoonfuls because I needed some food in my stomach. So I think I've already explained myself. They are just totally incorrect about. I didn't copy any of their material until just now, ever. And now the information about me giving incorrect medical information I put a link 2 or 3 times because especially in the beginning. Now his wife, she had a lot going on, and there's also the stress and all kinds of things. So I didn't give any information about his health, but it was difficult to find in the very beginning because I think she would just say it in a video or something. And then finally I think she put a link someplace with some information, and I put a link to that link, and then I posted a thing in my thing saying, hey, the Raccoon Whisperer guy, is having some medical problems or whatever, and here's where you can go and find out the information from them. And then I think eventually she got a little smarter, or maybe, Jim got home from the hospital. I don't think he's really that sharp on. I mean, he's got 6,000. Or is it 600,000? I don't know. I think it's 600,000. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But maybe he got it, and then I think they have done better. Now, again, I shouldn't have to mention this, but I think my ex-wife, Darlene, told me, she's into television, big time, but a little bit into the internet and animals and stuff. And she told me about hay, because I told her, about hay. There's this cute, dog site or bear site or something like that. And then she'd tell me some things, and then she told me, and then about the Raccoon Whisperer, and I went there and enjoyed watching, the videos. I subscribed. I think I'm still a subscriber, I think. And I might have unsubscribed. No, I see a thing here that shows on the screen here that says subscribe. So I unsubscribed. Well, when I unsubscribe then is, because I don't normally unsubscribe somebody, but I unsubscribed when people started coming to my site, a few, not a lot, but it was surprising because I don't get people attacking me or, that kind of stuff. I've been doing this since 1982 or before. And I'm in the video BBS, the documentary, BBS the documentary. And other people in that documentary, and of course I only had a few lines in it, but a lot of those people talked about the wars that they had, the people who had bulletin board systems back in the early days or whatever, and how if you had an Apple computer, then you were fighting with anybody that had any other kind of a computer, or if you had a Texas Instrument or a Radio Shack or whatever, all these people, and I didn't do that. These people also talked about back then that when Christmas would come and boys mainly would get modems for their computers, that these people would shut down. Some of them, it was like they just shut down for Christmas Day because they didn't want these kids logging in. Or they would shut down for 2 or 3 days because they didn't want these kids logging in. And there's in the BBS, the documentary, there's a thing where somebody is in a computer type of store where they sold computer type stuff. And somebody was looking at, I forget, let's say it's a Texas Instrument, looking at a Texas Instrument computer. And there's a salesman there, and this, this person is looking at it. And then this guy, he has a, let's see, maybe Atari computer. And then he goes over and says, you people don't want the Texas Instrument. And this is in this documentary, BBS, the documentary, that type of stuff went on. I did not do anything like that ever at all, never did. So I had almost zero complaints. And it's kind of continued, basically no complaints. So it was kind of surprising that, 10, 15 people, I don't think much more than that, but to me, that was, surprising because I just don't get negative comments. And part of that is I don't do, like some of the people who came from the Raccoon Whisperer. I actually got in trouble from one person complained, how dare you call him the raccoon guy or man or something, and I couldn't remember what his title was, Raccoon Whisperer, when I made the thing about, hey, going, and somebody came and attacked me for that, So anyway, it's a misunderstanding. That's their fault. They are getting comments from their people, and of course their people are getting comments, I guess, from whatever. I don't copy people's material, except I just did. And anyway, how long have I been talking now? Well, it's only 23 minutes, and Jim and his wife, they had, let's see, I started about 6:40 and went to 11. Let's say 4 minutes. They had 4 minutes, so I'm entitled to a few more. What else? I think that takes care of it. I never copied his material. I never said anything negative about him. It's all a big misunderstanding. Did I slurp a piece of a spoonful or two of soup sometime? Yeah, I did. Did I drink a? I think was I taking my pills? Did I? take some pills and wash it down with a little bit of Coke and obstruct my airway here, and that was on video. Yeah, I mean, did I eat something occasionally? Maybe a potato chip or something? Yeah, I did it. I don't see anything wrong with it, and no hard feelings towards Jim and his wife. And now I should explain to them. I've had some people from like the Raccoon Whisperer people have left a thing saying, "You're just trying to get money from them or what, or something like that." No, not at all. But the way this system works, YouTube, if you do something like what they did, attack me for what, 4 or 5 minutes, I will get a bunch of people will be coming here. They won't be coming here to say, "Oh, Jim, how dare those people attack you?" There'll be people who are going to come from their site who are going to attack me, but that counts as views. So where I get maybe I don't know how many views a day he gets. Well, wait a minute, I can tell by this below on his thing. For today's date, so far, he has got 5,447 views. 5,447 views. I have never got 5,000 views, and I probably get 100 views or something or other. I'm not in any competition, but this video that I'm making right now, I may get 5,000 views. It doesn't matter. It's not going to account for any money. If you get 5,000 views, that's not any money. I mean, if you get it 5,000 views every day or something, yeah, I guess it runs into some money. I don't know. So far as money from YouTube, I get less than $20 a month. I think some months I don't even get $20 a month. I put some links to Amazon, and I think one month from Amazon links, I think I made $95 for that 1 month. And for a whole bunch of months, in fact, I've shown on my site, I actually did that. In fact, I do it from time to time and go and show. And, that was, I'm not making money from this. James Blackwood, he is. And that's fine. I'm glad that he is. And maybe I play a little bit of a part in the fact that I'm one of the people who started all of this starting in 1982, when people didn't know what bulletin board systems were, when I had to write my program, from the basic book that came with my Radio Shack Model 1 computer that had 48K of memory in it. Actually, I don't think it had 48. I'm not talking about megs or so I'm not profiting off of Jim and his wife, and I'm not profiting off of anybody. What else? I think that's it. Anyway, I'm going to stop watching. See, I started. I mentioned that before, that I had enjoyed the Raccoon. I was going every day to see what was happening and whatever, and I got tired of it. And then about that time, his medical problem popped up. Or maybe it's that he got married about that time, And so then I wanted to, so I went back occasionally to see how that was, what were they doing, or whatever. And then that got tired, and then I was really, tired of seeing the raccoons eating hot dogs and marshmallows and whatever. And I was, because I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube and other places. So I was really, but then he came down with his illness. And then I went from time to time to check because I was concerned about him. We're not brothers. We're not, we're not even countrymen, But I went from time to time just to see if he was okay. And but, so, I guess that's it. Said everything. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at her. And I'm not even mad at the poor people who aren't too smart who come here and, attack me. And they're mistaken about what's going on. And Jim, I don't think really, he's doing fantastic. He's a success, at what he's doing. And he's loving it, and he's making some money and all that kind of stuff. And that's great. I don't think, though, that he really understands how the internet works. And he doesn't understand how the World Wide Web works. He doesn't understand how YouTube works and these kind of things. But that's fine. He's doing fine without understanding, those things. So, no hard feelings. But I think I've already unsubscribed, so I won't be going back. And even if they make some more comments or something about me, I'm not going to bother to go back. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But to those people who are so angry and are saying things like, "You're just trying to make money off of him." I'm not making any money off of him. I'm not making any money off of anybody. So, but by them starting this, there will be people who watch this. Pointing at. There will be people who will watch this part, and they're going to go and come here. So my views are going to skyrocket right about this. I've shown people that on when I do the things that I do here, showing them that kind of stuff. So they're going to realize, that. So how many of those people, how many of his people are going to come to my site? Not enough to make me any money, but it's interesting, that if they want to boycott me or, "Oh, you are a horrible person," or whatever, they mention me, and people will come here now for a while. Not for long, maybe a day or two. That's the way it works. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let's see here. Oh, I had my food here, but I didn't eat it this time. But in honor of Jiminy's wife, I'll chow down on some soup here maybe in another video.